The opportunity to come be a part of today's meeting. And at this time, I'd like to invite Dr. White and his family to step forward to be sworn in.
That I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution
the Constitution
and government of the United States
of the United States
and of the state of Florida.
and of the state of Florida,
That I am duly qualified
that I am duly qualified
to hold office
to hold office
under the Constitution,
under the Constitution of the state,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
perform the duties
perform the duties
of school board member
of school board member
on which I am about to enter.
on which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God. Thank you, sir.
And at this time, I'd like to invite Miss Linda Vanchek and her family to step forward to be sworn in.
All of them, all of them, all of them. Don't move your chest.
Nobody gives. All right, repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support, protect, and defend the Constitution of the government
that I will support, protect, and defend the Constitution and government
of the United States
of the United States
and the state of
and the
Florida,
state of Florida,
that I am duly qualified to hold office
that I am duly qualified to hold office
under the Constitution of the state,
under the Constitution of the state,
that I will faithfully perform
that I will well and faithfully perform
the duties of school board member
the duties of school board member
of which I am about to enter.
of which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
You have plenty to say. But I have some. Okay, so. Yeah, I know, the superintendent has, you got, of course, I have words, of course, okay. Good morning, everyone. I appreciate you coming out today. I know for many it's a holiday, but it's wonderful that we can take part in this wonderful piece of democracy, and I appreciate you being here. I want to talk a moment about why. That's kind of a new buzzword, getting your why and why you do things, and I want to share a couple of whys that led me to today. So I got to start back about 5 years ago, June 2nd. I know the date exactly because I was what you call a reluctant retiree. And when I had to leave the classroom, which seemed like happened very quickly, but after 38 years, for the first time, I found myself in almost 4 decades not really knowing my professional direction. And that's when I asked, why, and what am I going to do now? But it's interesting because a series of actions began taking place that led to my running for school board. First, about a year prior to that, my husband, Mike, and I had moved to a new residence that actually changed the school district in which we were living. Didn't even realize that. And so didn't really think anything about it, so we were doing that. And also, Rodney Walker, legendary school board member, happened to decide to retire that year, and it was on that election year. And so all of these things came together, along with some phone calls from people who said, you need to run for school board. And at first, I was not interested. But as things went on, and I looked at all the different things, I decided that that would be a way that I would continue to be a part of the public education in Okaloosa County, of which I loved so much. I was not ready to give up being part of public education in the school district that not only raised me, but supplied my career for so many years. So things went on, I got elected, and there was no way anyone could have predicted the things that happened and transpired in the last 4 years. You couldn't have made this up. They don't have a movie of it. It just doesn't happen. Now, I don't want to take away from anybody who has held office on this board, but what this particular board, along with Mr. Destin, who was originally on the board, what we've done to respond along with the district staff, the superintendent, to meet the needs of our students and employees during a pandemic, and I'm going to go there, I'm going to say it, unprecedented. Unprecedented. It's really historic. Truly it is. So I see a silver lining in all of that now that we're on this side of it. Because what we had to do was to unify, unlike any time before, just to survive. We had to be on the same page. We had to trust each other, the district, the board. We have all had to rely on each other as we work towards finding solutions and answers to problems that we had never known. And by doing so, we actually, I believe, to my colleagues, we have changed the perception of the school board member role. And I'm grateful for that. In an age of social media where we share our activities or they get shared for us, I'm often asked, why are you out there all over this county and I see you here and I see you there and why do you do that? You don't have to do that, do you? In my mind, you cannot be a leader without building relationships with the people in which you are representing and serving. And that is what we have done. We are out beyond this boardroom. Sometimes getting out has taken us into out of our personal comfort zone. Let me tell you, between the pandemic and everything, one of the most frightening things that I did during this first term had nothing to do with masking or not masking, but I was asked to throw out the first pitch for the Baker Schools softball season. Talk about being out of my comfort zone. Now, I could have declined that. I could have said, oh no, I can't do that, no. And they would have had to take that as an answer. But I didn't. And I was really scared because, again, that's not my comfort zone. So why did I show up that night and do that? Because those students were waiting to see if I would come through and show up for them. Those students deserved it, and I didn't want to let them down. And particularly, it was the softball, the ladies, and I wanted to be one of those ladies that showed up. The pandemic also brought about something of which I'm very proud. I'm very proud that I asked you, Mr. Chambers, Superintendent, and the Baker Principal, Mike Martello, if we could have a town hall meeting with all the students, and I think we literally did it on the day the year before we were let out for school for the pandemic. We showed up, we listened, they asked tough questions, and we responded. And particularly Mr. Chambers did. I just kind of assisted and cheered him on, but it was great to listen to these students because I believe showing up and talking with them was more than anything else we could do, and it was important. But what we got out of it, I believe, is that, of course, we were thinking on terms of academics and how much progress they were losing academically, but what they said to us was not so much about academics, but they shared that they and their fellow peers were struggling with mental health situations. And that opened our eyes, and that came back to this board where we have taken many steps to help our students and our employees in the area of mental health, and I'm very proud of that. And that was really not a focus before that. So after all the challenges of the last 4 years, why would I run again? Especially when the political climate in our state and in our country has been less than friendly when it comes to school boards. You know, in the past, you were just, oh, school board, didn't get a lot of ripple, but suddenly we are in the limelight. And it's because one truth has been reinforced in me over all that has happened the past 4 years. And that is that serving on this board allows me and us to be a part of something so much bigger than ourselves. And that is how we not only survived, but we thrive, and why Okaloosa County is ahead. And my last why is because I have so many people who have supported me, and I would just want to thank a few. First of all, I would certainly want to thank all the voters in Okaloosa County for their trust and confidence in me, not only once, but twice. I am truly humbled. I want to thank my family, and all of them aren't here. I think I've mentioned before, I'm one of eight. I have 7 brothers and sisters. But I do want to recognize my brother Rick and my sister Liz, who are both Okaloosa employees who are here today to support me. Some days it's pretty cool to have your sister on the school board, and some days it's not. Some days they're very glad they have a different last name. I also know that my sister-in-law and brother-in-law, Kim and Larry Patrick, feel the same way about that. I want to thank my dear friend Peggy Mitchell. She is an extraordinary educator in her own right, and she has been eyewitness to everything in my life pretty much for the past 4 decades as we were colleagues. And she keeps showing up for me, including today. There are many other friends, I can't mention all of them, but I would not be here without them today. I want to address my fellow board members. I could not have picked a better group of individuals with whom to serve. Your qualifications and your dedication are only overshadowed by your passion that which you want to offer students the best education possible, and I admire you for that. It is an honor to work with you and to serve with you, and also with you, Superintendent Chambers. I thank you and your staff for your support, and I'm looking forward to this next term and what we can accomplish together. I do need to single out, I love all the schools and everyone's been wonderful to me, but the 2 schools that I actually directly serve, I want to thank Principal Mike Martello and all my folks at Baker. You aren't alive if you don't know that I'm for the Baker Gators in the past few years. But the success of that school and their students have made me look good over and over. And to Principal Dawn Massey and her crew at Florosa, it's one of the most loving and hardest working schools in this district, and I appreciate them. And I do need to mention my alma mater, not only as a student and a teacher, Choctawhatchee High School. I want to thank Principal Michelle Heck for always keeping that door open and reminding me that I'll always be a part of the Big Green family. I appreciate that. And while I'm mentioning him last, he's definitely the first person on my list. That is my husband, Mike. You can't go through an election and serve the people without it affecting your mate. He has to deal with it every single day. Mike is not just a rock, but is a pillar. He gets all my whys, and on those rough days when I'm asking why, he reminds me. Thank you, dear. I am honored to be chosen to serve, and I'm eager to start this new term. I want to wish you all a wonderful Thanksgiving. We have so much in Okaloosa County to be thankful for, and I'm grateful for you.
And last but not least, I'd like to invite Dr. Kelly and her family to come forward to be sworn in.
I do solemnly swear that I will support, protect, and defend
I do solemnly swear that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and government of the United States and of the state of Florida.
the Constitution and government of the United States and of the state of Florida.
That I am duly qualified to hold office under the Constitution of the state.
That I am duly qualified to hold office under the Constitution of the state.
And that I will and will faithfully perform the duties of school board member which I am about to enter.
That I will well and faithfully perform the duties of school board member about which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
And I do have just a few words. So first of all, I'm very grateful that my fellow citizens have entrusted me with another term of public service on this board, a 4-year commitment. I'm humbly grateful for their vote of confidence in me, and I will never forget this. I plan again to keep our young people as a central focus of all that we do as a collective school board, because I believe that the future of this district, this state, and really of this nation depends largely upon the quality of education that we provide to our students. I will work with my fellow board members and the superintendent in a spirit of harmony and cooperation, even though we may occasionally have a little difference of opinion. I am grateful for the support of my family, my friends, and my colleagues, and I give special thanks to my husband, who was there for me for every event, day and night, of this most unusual campaign. Again, I thank you all, and I look forward to serving.
All right, we're going to start this part of the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. If you would join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call this meeting to order. Item 3.2, approval of the agenda. I need a motion for approval.
So
I'll make-
moved. So-
I have a first by Dr. White and a second by Mr. Bryant. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item 3.3, the floor is open for nominations for school board chairman.
Mr. Chambers, I would like to nominate the Honorable Dr. Diane Kelly to fill the role as chairman for the upcoming term.
I'll second it.
So we have a first by Mr. Bryant, a second by Ms. Linda Vancheck. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Congratulations, Dr. Kelly.
Thank you very much.
So we pass this down to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Get it right away.
All right. I need a motion for school board vice chair.
I'll make a motion if Dr. White would be interested.
All right, I will accept. Thank you.
And we'll still be friends?
Yes.
All right.
He
I have
did a wonderful
motion.
job years ago.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All right. I have a motion and a second. I need a call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. So, Dr. White, congratulations.
Thank you.
So next on our agenda, we have establishment of the 2023 school board meeting schedule. You have in front of you two propositions. One option is to keep the board meetings and workshops as they are currently, with the workshop on Thursday, followed by the meetings on Monday night. A new option is to have board workshops on a Monday morning at 9 a.m., followed by board meeting at 6 p.m. the same night, the same day.
I'd like to make a motion that we go with a new schedule, having both meetings on the same day, morning and night.
All right, I have a motion.
Option 2.
And I'll, go ahead.
Go ahead, I'll second, or,
Okay, I have a motion and second. Need a call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? It passed unanimously. Thank you. So we will have a new schedule that will meet on Mondays.
And Madam Chair, this is actually not going to take place until January, am I correct? Because we have to have public comment on it.
That's correct.
Okay.
Thank you. So we have 3.5, which was establishment of the school board schedule. We have 3.6, proposed revised school board meeting agenda format. So, is there any comment? All right, I need a motion
On the format?
on the format. I think you have that.
Is this where we are?
As part of your process is at this meeting to adopt the format for your
Oh,
meeting
okay.
agenda for the next
Oh, that's
year.
right.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
and it
all right.
hasn't changed.
And there's a draft proposed
it's-
there.
Yes, there.
Okay.
Okay, so what we're looking at is that we're going to have 2 different cards? Okay, at different times, so.
Correct.
Right.
And we're also doing away with the, which is item 12, the seat management contracts.
That's
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah.
Those items will now just appear if you approve this on your consent agenda.
Right, right.
And there will still be 2 speaking opportunities for the public on this
Right.
agenda. The previous visitors section has not really been used that much since the legislation changed and persons come to the meetings now and can speak one of the other 2 times. So that's just been rolled into the recognition section.
Okay.
And the speaking times remain the same, the 4 minutes and,
No.
no?
Well,
There is a draft policy coming up on this agenda that you would
Okay.
consider that will address those times.
right.
And is this a junction at which I could share new information to particularly look at and consider for the
Yes,
the
ma'am, we
new
could do it
policy?
here, or we could do it when we get to the
Yeah, we
section
have
on the
that actually
policy.
down here.
Okay. I think I'll pass it out and
Sure.
we can decide at that junction how to go forward.
So, Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the proposed revised school board meeting agenda format.
Thank you. So I have a motion. I need a second.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Call for the question. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so it passed unanimously. All right, so we move now to 3.7, which is designation of school board member to serve as the board's trustee to the Florida School Boards Insurance Trust, better known as FSBIT.
I'd
Madam
like to
Chair-
nominate Mr. Bryant.
Okay. I'll
Second
accept.
it.
All right, we have a motion and a second for Mr. Bryant to continue as our FSBIT representative. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And that passed unanimously. Thank you. Congratulations, Mr. Bryant. Moving to 3.8, designation of school board member to serve as the board's representative on the Northwest Florida Manufacturing Council.
Can I make a statement on this before we move to that? Okay, so I'm just wondering if this particular representative, as we've increased with our CTE and moved in that way, if a board member serving is really the best for that council or for us. Seems that maybe someone with the district who works in that all the time would actually be better served for them and for us. Is it required that a board member actually be on that council, or is that just a request?
Ms. Crawford and I reached out to the gentleman, and he did want to have a school board member remain on it, but he
Mhm.
also wanted to be involved with the vocational school.
Mhm.
And so I connected him with Mr. Williams, John Williams.
Right.
And so he is going to go and be part of their SAC committee, or at least observe and watch that.
Mhm.
But he did say he wanted a board member. I did reach out to him,
Okay.
and he did request.
Okay, and
And I
I
just-
and
that
I
was-
appreciate that. It's just that it seems that as much as we've done, I mean, I can see years ago we didn't have as much
Right.
going
Oh,
on.
I
But
agree.
I
And I
just
had the same question you did, and that's why we reached out, and I think she sent an email out to everyone just with his response.
So are we going to start having reports from whoever that is to back to the board?
They have not met yet.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
And I might suggest, based on those comments, that whomever the board member is that is a part of this committee, that maybe it's posed that you might be able to bring a designee with you, and that could be Ms. Branscombe, and
Mhm.
you'd have that opportunity to have that person there.
Okay, good. Yeah, good suggestion.
All right, so with that, I do need a motion for designation of school board member to serve as our representative on the Northwest Florida Manufacturing Council.
Madam Chair, Ms. Gardner, would you be willing to accept that again?
I will,
And
yes.
Then I nominate Marty Gardner.
And I second that. I think you did a good job with that.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second. Need a call for question. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, and that passed unanimously. Congratulations, Ms. Gardner.
Thank you.
All right, so we move to 3.9, designation of school board member to serve as the board's representative to the Okaloosa Public Schools Foundation. I need a motion.
I'll nominate Ms. Linda Vancheck to continue to represent.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second. Call to question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good. Congratulations.
Thank you
Ms.
very
Avenger.
much. You just didn't want to hear it from me, right?
No.
Mr. Bryant?
You did a great job.
You're doing a great job.
Did a
Well, I
great
love it,
job.
and I appreciate that. Thank you, board members.
Good job. All right, so we move to 310, designation of school board member to serve as the board's representative to the construction program.
I'll nominate Mr. Bryant.
All right. And I
I'll
need a
second that.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Call for question. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, and it passes unanimously. Congratulations, Mr. Bryant. You will enjoy that as I have. That's a wonderful group to be part of. 3.11, designation of school board member to serve as the board's representative to the Principal of the Year and Assistant Principal of the Year Selection Committee. Need a motion?
I'm currently serving for, in that respect, and I would accept another nomination,
And
should it
I'll-
be the board's pleasure.
I'll do that nomination,
And I'll
Dr.
second it.
White.
All right, I have a nomination and a second, a motion and a second. Call for question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And it passes unanimously. Congratulations, Dr. White.
Thank you.
All right, Section 4 in other business, we have 4.1, request to advertise a public hearing for the adoption of the revised school board policy 01-07, personal appearance before the board, presented by Mr. McGinnis, attorney to the board, and recommended by the superintendent for approval. And that is the item for which I have passed around other information. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to get this to you previously. An opportunity presented itself, and I just think there are some items in those two documents that come from other school districts that might serve us well. And even though this would push us out a month, I think that getting this right is better than getting it too quickly done. So I propose this to you for us to look at and maybe push that out another month, if that's okay.
So I'll make a motion that we accept that.
All right, I have a motion, need a second.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
So-
Just a
Can we have some
point of
discussion?
clarification.
All right.
So the motion then is to,
Accept the request to advertise a public hearing for the revised school board policy for public comment. And if Mr. McGinnis
Well,
can,
That's-
what I would recommend is if you would give us an opportunity to take this information and look at the draft red line policy and see if we need to make any further revisions, and then we'll bring that back
Okay.
to you, let's say at the December meeting.
Okay.
And then
Exactly.
and then we'd ask you to vote to allow us to advertise a public hearing.
okay.
Exactly.
So by doing that, that will help, we should be able to start that in January, or is that going to wait till probably our second
We
meeting
probably
in
can get the
January?
public hearing in by the second meeting in
Okay,
January.
all right.
Yes, sir.
Great.
All right.
So are you revising your motion?
Yes, I'll
Mr. Bryant?
revise my motion. I misunderstood where we were going with that.
Thank you. So I have a motion, I need a second.
And the motion is to ask us to consider this material with the
Yes.
policy drafting?
Yes, yes, sir. That's
and
my
then-
revision.
And then at the next meeting, then we'll make a motion to proceed with an
To schedule a
advertisement.
public hearing, yes, sir.
Right.
All right, so
Okay.
then.
Clarification of the motion, please.
Is a motion appropriate?
Well, actually, we would just ask you to, you could just table this request here, and we can bring it back to the December meeting,
Okay.
and we'll have a new red line for you at that
All right.
time.
All right.
So now I will
Withdraw.
take
Request to
back
table.
everything.
Withdraw
Yeah,
if you want to withdraw that.
withdraw that, and I'll make a motion that we table it.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second, call for question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So it passed unanimously, thank you. Excuse me. So moving to 4.2, authorization to continue using the existing bank MICR signatures presented by Julie Perry, Chief Financial Officer, and recommended by the Superintendent for approval. I need a motion.
So moved.
Have a motion, I need
I'll
a
second
second.
it.
Have a motion and a second, call for question, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And it passes unanimously. Thank you. Moving on to Section 5, Attorney's Business.
The only item this morning, Madam Chair, is just part of an annual review of our legal services agreement. We're not asking for any increases or adjustments in the rates, and don't have any recommended changes to the terms of the contract. I look forward to serving the board for another year, and just wanted to have that for the record that we've had the review.
Thank you. So no action, just for information only. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you, Mr. McInnes.
And that moves us to Section 6, Superintendent's Business. Mr.
Thank you,
Kennedy.
Madam Chair. And I'd just like to say to this school board, particularly the three that were sworn in this morning, just thank each and every one of you for what you do. I think I've said it before, your heart is right for kids, and you've shown that over the course of your tenure. And what we've done together, and especially on the backs of our teachers, staff, and administrators, has been something that I think that we can all be proud of. And like Ms. Savanchek nicely stated and stated very articulately, it's been a challenge the last number of years, and I wouldn't have wanted to be with a different group than those who have been with us the entire time. So I just appreciate your leadership, your service to the school district. It is very much appreciated. And congratulations in the new roles today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Likewise. So that brings us to 7, the point we've all been waiting for.
Well, just, there's no board members' business on this agenda.
That's right.
And I would
Do you
like to
want
take
to
the
s-
opportunity
okay.
to express appreciation to the voters that re-elected me, and also to my wife and everything that she's done for me and was there, and all of our friends that are here, and all of our friends that might be watching through the computer system. But in any case, thank you all, and I'm looking forward to serving these next 4 years. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Absolutely.
And Dr. Kelly, if I can make a quick comment too. I just want to say thank you to everyone who has supported this board. First of all, it was an honor to serve as chairperson for the last 3 years, but I'm excited to see what Dr. Kelly's going to bring in this leadership role, and just wish you the best. And to this entire board, thank you for all that y'all do. Thank you.
And
Big
thank you,
shoes
Mr.
to
Bryant,
fill.
for your service as the
That's right.
chair. Did an excellent job. Appreciate you very much.
And I'll just add to it, you mentioned in your comment that how thankful we are and blessed to be in Okaloosa County. And when you look at the news and you look at how other board situations are handled, I am very thankful that the 3 of you prevailed and you're sitting here today, that we can celebrate you. And I do, being basically a fairly new board member, so enjoyed. And thank you for serving again. And you've done an outstanding job, and I look forward to the next 4 years.
Thank you.
And happy Thanksgiving to all of you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Happy
happy
everyone.
Thanksgiving.
You can relax now.
Safe and happy Thanksgiving.
Safe and happy.
Lots of big shoes to fill here, and I want both chairmen that I've had an opportunity to work with to feel free to correct me and let me be the beneficiary of your experience at any
Right.
time. Thank you so much, and with that, we shall adjourn. Thank you.